All right, let's talk about Theo Angelopoulos' 1995 film, Ulysses Gaze. And right off the bat, I want you to forget everything you think you know about a classic homecoming story. Because this isn't just a movie. It's a huge, profound argument made on film. An argument about history, about memory, and about the very real pain of modern borders. It's a journey that starts where most adventures are supposed to end, and it asks a question that, trust me, will stick with you long after it's over.
Okay, so our first stop, a journey away from home. You see, right from the get-go, this film just completely flips the script on what you'd expect. I mean, think about Homer's Odyssey, right? That whole epic is about the struggle to get home. Well, this story, it starts there. Our main character is already at his destination. But, and this is the key, he can't stay. His real journey is what you might call an anti-Odyssey, a journey away from a home that just doesn't feel like home anymore.
And this question, wow, it hangs over the entire film. How many borders must we cross to be home? It's asked right at the beginning, and it just completely changes how you think about homecoming. We're not just talking about lines on a map here. No, it's about something much deeper. The almost impossible challenge of crossing the borders inside of us, right? The ones made of memory and time.
So that leads to this bigger idea. What if home isn't a place you can get to at all? What if it's just a memory that you can never quite reach? And that, right there, is the heart of this anti-Odyssey. Our main guy, a filmmaker we only know as A, he isn't just trying to get back to a town or a house. Nope. He's chasing a ghost, a memory of a world before it was all torn apart. And you get this feeling right from the start that, yeah, this quest might not have a happy ending.
Okay, so Section 2, the landscape of memory. To really get what Ajay is going through, we have to look at the kind of map he's using. And believe me, it's not your standard Google Maps of the Balkans. This is a landscape built out of memory itself. It's a place where you have centuries of history all layered on top of each other, and the past, well, it's always right there, breathing down your neck.
And a great way to think about this comes from the historian Fernand Braudel. He kind of saw history in two layers. On top, you've got event history, the wars, the dates, the politics. He called it the foam on the surface of the sea. It's what changes quickly. But this film, Ulysses Gaze, is way more interested in what's underneath. Braudel called it deep history, the longue durée. These are the really deep, slow currents. Things like culture, geography, climate, the stuff that shapes a place for centuries, long after all that foam on the surface has disappeared.
And the way Angelopoulos makes you feel this deep history is just incredible. It's his signature style, these super long, unbroken camera shots that just go on and on. With a technique like that, the past isn't some quick flashback. It's more like a ghost that just walks right into the room with the characters, sharing the exact same space. It creates this kind of eternal now, where past, present, and future all seem to be happening at once. So in a landscape like that, where time is all folded up, what is A even looking for?
Well, that brings us to the quest itself, the quest for the first look. So what's the big prize here? What's he after? It's not some ancient treasure like the Golden Fleece. It's something much more modern and way more fragile. He's looking for 3 undeveloped reels of film. Shot way back at the start of the 20th century, they supposedly hold a first look, a pure vision of the world before it was shattered. Now, these reels weren't just random. They were shot by the Manaki brothers, who were actual, real-life pioneers of cinema in the Balkans. You could say their camera was a kind of neutral witness to history. Back then, before all the nationalist lines were drawn so sharply, they just filmed, they filmed life. Weavers, traditions, people, landscapes. They captured a shared culture that kind of transcended borders. And for our guy A, this footage is everything. It represents a lost innocence, that first look that he is absolutely desperate to get back.
And this whole quest leads us to a really cool idea. It's a big word, but the concept is simple: historiography. It's the idea that film doesn't just record history, it actually creates it. It shapes how we see the past. Cinema can make these powerful visual arguments that words on a page just can't. So you see, A's search isn't just about finding some old, dusty film cans. He's trying to literally reconstruct the past using the power of cinema.
And if you want a perfect, haunting example of this, look no further than one of the most famous shots in all of cinema. It's this giant, broken-apart statue of Lenin just floating down the Danube River on a barge while people on the shore are crossing themselves. I mean, wow. It's not a documentary, right? But it's this incredibly powerful visual statement. It's like a funeral for a dead idea, a funeral for the entire 20th century. That is historiography in action.
All right, on to Section 4, the woman with one face.
As A makes his way across these borders, something really strange starts to happen. A mysterious pattern emerges. He keeps seeing the same face, over and over again. This woman, this face, starts to represent both everything he's searching for, that feeling of home, and the heartbreaking truth that he can probably never get there.
So it starts in Greece. He's in his hometown, and he meets a woman there, his old lover. Now, I want you to really lock her face in your mind, because she becomes this anchor for the whole journey. She's the image of the home he's just decided to leave.
Then he heads into Albania, crosses the border, and there she is again. It's the same actress, the exact same face. But wait, she's a totally different person now, a complete stranger. It's this really uncanny, weirdly hypnotic effect. It's like an echo of the past following him across every border he crosses.
And this keeps happening. He moves through other countries, has other encounters, and then he finally reaches the last stop, war-torn Sarajevo. And who is waiting for him there? You guessed it, that same face. At this point, it's clear she's part of his destiny, this constant, almost ghostly figure haunting him across a broken continent. So what in the world is going on? Well, here's the brilliant part. The 4 main women he meets on this journey, they're all played by the same actress, Maya Morgenstern. And it's not random at all. Each character is a direct parallel to one of the women from Homer's Odyssey. In Greece, she's like Penelope, the faithful love he leaves behind. In Albania, she's Circe, the dangerous enchantress. Later, she's Calypso, the comforting temptation that could trap him. And finally, in Sarajevo, she's Naomi Levy, his guide in what is basically the land of the dead like Nausicaa. It's just a genius move. It traps Cerny into this ancient mythic cycle of always leaving, always losing.
And that brings us to the end of the line. What the gaze revealed, the whole journey, everything he's been through, it all comes to a head in the besieged city of Sarajevo. Right there, in the middle of the Bosnian War, this desperate search for that pure first look is about to reach its absolutely tragic, unforgettable end. And you can just feel the tension ratcheting up. He has to do 3 things. First, find this archivist, a man named Ivo Levy, who has the reels. Second, Levi has to somehow develop this ancient film, using old, forgotten formulas, while the city is literally being bombed around them. And third, they can only actually watch the film under the cover of a thick, dense fog.
And the archivist says something that just hits you in the gut. In Sarajevo, fog is man's best friend. It is the only time life in the city returns to normal. Think about that. The fog that lets them see this film, this glimpse of the past, is the same fog that hides people from the snipers. It allows this tiny, fragile moment of normal life to return. It's a peace that can only exist because of the constant threat of death. Just devastating.
So, this is it. After everything. After the whole insane journey, all the borders, all the ghosts from the past, the projector finally whirs to life. Ah sits down. He's about to see it. The first look. And what's on the screen is nothing. Absolutely nothing. Just a bright, empty, white screen.
So what does that even mean, an empty screen? Well, this is the film's biggest, most powerful punch. It's saying that innocent past he was looking for, it can't be recovered. It's gone. Our modern eyes, after everything we've seen and done, we're basically blind to that kind of purity now. History isn't some puzzle box you can just open. The real point, the real meaning, was never going to be finding the film. It was always in the journey itself. And in the very last moments of the film, A does something incredible. He looks right into the camera, right at us, and says, "This story never ends." He's telling us that this was never just about him. This whole struggle to understand history, to make sense of memory, that's a journey that never ends, for any of us.
Which leaves us with one last massive question to chew on. If the journey never ends, if there's no treasure waiting for you, then what's the point of the quest? Why even start? The film, of course, doesn't just hand you an easy answer, but it suggests that maybe the purpose isn't to find something. Maybe the purpose is just to bear witness, to keep looking. Even if all you find is an empty screen, to just keep asking the questions.